all I will say is that, it's talked about today, it talked about from the first day I went to Shannon Hotel School, self-belief, belief in yourself, and believe that what you want to achieve can be achieved. And I hope Ireland doesn't bog itself down in too much regulation. I'm beginning to, everybody worries about this. We know about sustainability, we know how important it is. Now, I don't know the detail, but I was so thrilled last July or August when I was leaving Galway that I heard that Apple were going to build a European data centre in Athenry. The next thing I heard, there are objections to the planning and everything. What a shame. I know it doesn't mean you can't just come in and knock down a forest and build some buildings, but a company like Apple is not going to come in and not be sympathetic to the environment, and in my opinion, long term be actually positive for the environment, because they're a company that would care. And I just hope Ireland will allow things to happen. I know this might not be popular, but we hear a lot about the housing crisis, we hear a lot about what's happening in terms of lack of office space, lack of hotels in Dublin. And then, Dublin's a lovely town, but hey, why can't we build vertically? What's wrong with building a 50-storey building? When they built Liberty Hall, I'm sure everybody said, oh, that's far too high. But why should there be sort of an idea that you shouldn't go higher than Liberty Hall? For God's sake, this is 2017. And when we look at buildings in Dubai, when we put up the Burj Al Arab at 321 metres, then we popped up the Emirates Towers at 350 metres, and then along comes Burj Khalifa at 850 metres. But the city, if it didn't grow vertically, would just use up land everywhere, and then you'd just have an urban sprawl covering hundreds of square kilometres. So the same is happening in Dublin, and I would really, and I'm no city planner or anything far from it, but I do think there's this whole concept that regulation won't allow you to build very high vertically. Why not?
Given to be Irish Minister for Tourism with the power that a ruler in Dubai would, what would you do? What would you do for Irish tourism?
Well, I would definitely look towards relaxing planning laws to allow more hotels to be built. I would encourage very strongly the sustainability side of tourism. I think Ireland is unbelievable in what it has. I would be very concerned about how you manage tourist attractions that are too popular, and yes, that happens, and we mustn't shoot ourselves in the foot. We have an obligation to be sustainable, because otherwise we'll destroy the very product that we're trying to do. I would certainly put a lot of resource, if I had it, into education of young people, not only at managerial level but at vocational level. And I think that I would look towards taking on some of the German examples of apprenticeships, particularly within the industry, to feed into the industry what we would have. And I would certainly be very encouraging to continue allowing immigration into the country, particularly from within the European Union. I'm a strong believer in the freedom of movement, though I do think that Europe could have given a little bit more to David Cameron to to get some kind of curtailment on the easy access to benefits, which I know happens here and happens in the UK. But broadly speaking, I would certainly be very supportive of allowing people who want to work in the industry to come in here to work in it. But the education side is tremendously important. I think the standards in Irish hotel industry will always be good, and they will always be going up, because Ireland has to compare itself with international competitors. And what I would also do very much, and is so important, is stop complaining about exchange rates. Exchange rates come and go. What you got to do is that if today the British market is going down because of their exchange rate, then you got to look to China, you got to look to India, and you got to look to new markets. And to do that, you got to have open skies. And I would build a second runway right away in Dublin Airport, and I would build another terminal in Dublin Airport. If I didn't have to worry about planning permission or anything, these are things that I would go ahead with straight away, because the facilitation of travel, the open skies, airlift into your country, as well, of course, is sea as well in this country, but airlift is so vitally important. And I would do whatever I could to maintain the common travel area between the United Kingdom and Ireland.
Thank you very much, Chair Lawless.
Thank you.